this recipe by seeing how to make these koftas or meatballs. Now here I've taken 500 grams of mince and I've just ground it to a finer consistency in my mixer jar. To that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of very finely chopped onion. Next I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of coriander powder. Next goes in 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, 1 green chili finely chopped. Now I'm using the lesser spicy, the lighter green chili, which is not that spicy. Now goes in some salt to taste, so roughly about a teaspoon. Then 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. If you don't have chili powder, you can also use chili flakes. 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. Now this is a homemade garam masala. I'll leave a link of how I prepare this at home. Now this is 2 tablespoons of roasted chickpea flour or besan. So I've just roasted it lightly for a minute in my pan and I'm adding it. This will help to bind the kebabs or the meatballs really well. And now goes in about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped fresh coriander leaves or cilantro. 1 teaspoon of clarified butter. That is ghee. If you don't have clarified butter, you can also go with regular oil. Now we're going to mix all of this really well together. And we're going to set this aside for 20 minutes. So just cover and keep it aside or keep it in your refrigerator for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, we're going to make small balls the size of a small lemon. Like this. We don't want them to be very small or we don't want them to be very big. They're just medium size like this. Like a small lemon or lime. So make these and set them aside. So these are all the meatballs or the kebabs or the koftas ready. Now I'm going to heat some oil for deep frying. Now we don't want the oil to be very, very hot. So you can keep your flame between low to medium. And when the oil is the right temperature, not very hot or not very warm, it should be at the right temperature. Then we're just going to fry these because we want them to be really fried well and not just the outer coating fried and the inside raw. And now we're going to fry this really well till it turns to a little darker golden brown color. But keep your flame between low to medium. Don't increase your flame too high. And this took me about 3 minutes and the koftas or the meatballs were ready. So I'm just going to take them and set them aside. And in this way, I fried all the meatballs. So I roughly got about 16 or 17, which is, like enough for a family of 4. And now our meatballs are all ready. And now we can start working on the lovely, delicious gravy. So you can see that they're really nicely fried. Take your time with frying them. And now let's move on to this gravy. So first I'm going to make a yogurt kind of a mixture. So I've taken 2 tablespoons of homemade yogurt or curd or dahi. I'll leave a recipe of how I prepare this at home. 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. Half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. And half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Now we're going to mix all of this really well or whisk it really well and set it aside. Now I've taken about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm using the same oil in which I deep fried the koftas with the meatballs. Now I'm going to add 1 medium onion chopped fine. We're going to fry the onion till it becomes nice and translucent. Once that happens, I'm going to add 2 light green chilies that I've just slit and cut it up into halves. We're going to mix this really well, fry the chili well. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. I'll leave a recipe of how I prepare my ginger garlic paste at home in the description box below. Now we're going to mix all of this really well together. Next I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of dried fenugreek leaves or kasuri methi and I'm going to crush it like this and then add it. Now we're going to fry all of this really well. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder, or you can also use paprika. This is just for the color. It doesn't add any spiciness. And now this is the puree of 2 tomatoes, 2 medium-sized tomatoes. I've just ground them in my mixer jar. And now I'm going to cover and cook this for about 7 minutes on a low to medium flame, just stirring in between. And after 7 minutes, our mixture is ready. So it's fried really well. So now I'm going to add the curd mixture that we prepared, or the dahi or the yogurt mixture with all the powder masalas. We're going to add that, mix it in well. And now I'm going to add about half a cup of water to that curd, the jar in which I made the curd, and just add that also. And now mix everything well. And again, we're going to cover and cook this for another 7 minutes on a low to medium flame, stirring in between. You can get the lovely aroma of this gravy by this time. And once it's nice and cooked, we're just going to add the meatballs into the gravy. And now we're just again going to cover and cook this for about 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, our lovely Kofta curry or Indian meatball curry is all ready, and it's super delicious, guys. And now just garnish it with some freshly chopped coriander. This goes well with some roti, naan, or even some lovely jeera rice or just plain pulao. The whole wheat roti recipe. So here in a bowl, I've taken 1.5 cup of whole wheat flour. To that, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, some salt to taste, 3 teaspoons of yogurt, and a little bit of water, about 6 to 7 tablespoons, to make a nice, soft, smooth dough. So now you're going to knead this dough, adding a little water at a time, till you get a lovely, super soft consistency. And then you're going to drizzle a few drops of oil, and again knead the dough. And then we're going to cover and keep this dough aside after we kneaded it really well for at least an hour. So just fold it up like this, tuck it in like this, and then just cover and set it aside for at least an hour. Now after an hour, again just knead the dough, and you will see that it has become really super soft and really easy to work with. Now you can keep a pan for heating up on a low to medium flame like you would for a regular roti or chapati. Dust your surface with a little bit of whole wheat flour and take a large lime-sized ball of the dough. And you're going to roll this out to a little bit of a thicker kind of a roll, not as fine as you would with a chapati or a puri, but a little bit thicker. So say to about an inch thickness. And then you're just going to brush a little bit of water, very little water, but evenly brush the water all over the roti. And now we're going to put this on the pan with the moist part facing down. That is the part which you brushed it with water, that is going to be facing down. Just evenly let it stick to the pan. And once you see it it begins to fluff up a little bit, just turn it over. Now increase your flame to high and just cook it. You will see that you have these small bubble kind of, it starts to bubble up immediately. So roast it evenly, see that there's no raw part of it, but that the roti is nicely evenly roasted on a high flame. And then you're just going to cook it on the other side too for about half a minute or so, and then just loosen out the edges, and you will see how nice and roasted it is on the other side. Now just roast it for a little while on the other side too, directly on the pan, and now you're going to just take it out onto the pan, onto a plate. Now you're just going to apply a little bit of butter. You can apply butter or even ghee if you want. And then I like to sprinkle it with a little finely chopped garlic and finely chopped coriander. And that's it, guys. Your whole wheat roti is all ready to enjoy with any of your favorite dishes. So I hope you liked today's recipe. I'll catch you soon. This is Akshata signing off. Bye. So first we're going to start by preparing the filling. So here I have 200 grams of boneless chicken breast that I've just cut up into small cubes. To that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of yogurt or dahi or curd. Next goes in 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. I'm using my homemade ginger garlic paste. I'll leave a link of how I prepare it at home. Next I'm going to add 1 green chili that I've chopped fine. Next goes in some salt to taste. Then goes in 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Next goes in 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of tandoori masala. You can use any brand. And you're going to mix all of this really well together. You want to get all of the ginger garlic paste, the masalas, all the powders really well into the chicken. You could use a spoon, you could also mix it with your hands. But mix everything really well. Let all of the chicken get coated with all of this marinade. And then you're going to cover and set this aside for 20 minutes. Now after 20 minutes, I've taken 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan and heated it up. And once the oil is nice and hot, we're going to add all of this chicken to the pan. And now we're going to really cook the chicken. We're not going to cover it. We're just going to cook it up on an, without any lid. And we're going to keep turning and tossing it till it gets nicely cooked and nicely fried. So you can prepare this filling for the sandwiches, and you can make the sandwiches whenever you like. I also use this filling to make a Subway sandwich. I have a recipe for how I make my Subway sandwiches. So I'll leave a link for that below. So I used the filling for that also, and it turned out amazing. So you're going to cook this for about 5 to 7 minutes on an open, without covering it at all, without a lid. And you can just check after about 7 minutes whether the chicken is nice and cooked. But you want to cook the chicken really well. So after it cooks for about 7 minutes, you're going to keep it again on a low to medium flame for another 5 minutes, just stirring in between like this so that everything gets evenly cooked. Now chicken doesn't really take much time to cook, but we do want to ensure that it is cooked well. So we're going to keep it for a total of about 10 to 12 minutes, stirring it like this on a low flame. And you can see now that the chicken is nice and cooked. So I've just taken it out in a bowl and set it aside. So now I've taken my slices of bread and I'm just going to add a little bit of mayo onto one side. Now I have a recipe for homemade mayo. I'll leave a link to that below. And now I'm just going to add this filling. So I transfer it to a bowl so it cools down a bit. So just evenly spread out this filling. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of grated cheese. Now here I'm using a mixture of cheddar, mozzarella, and regular processed cheese. But you can use whatever cheese you have at home. And then you're just going to cover it, apply a little bit of butter onto one side. And here I have my grill pan nice and heated up. If you don't have a grill pan, no problem, you can use a regular pan and then just nicely grill it on both sides. So when one side is grilling, just apply a little butter onto the other side, but ensure that it gets nicely grilled and nicely cooked. So keep an eye on it. And it looks so delicious already. So these pans are really easily available uh, on Amazon, online, or in stores, and they give you this lovely restaurant style or street food style of a look. And that's your sandwich already. And in this way, I'm putting the other sandwich on the grill. So your grill should be nice and heated up. So when you put it on, you get that lovely sizzle sound. And when you cut up into the sandwich, the lovely cheese also is nice and melted. And since it has a little bit of mozzarella, so it has that stringy effect. But this sandwich is really delightful. And like I said, you can also use this for the Subway sandwich with it packed up with a lot of veggies and sauces. So I'll leave a link for that so you can see how I prepare my Subway sandwiches at home. So just press it down this way and it's all set. And I like to cut it up into triangles like this. So I just place both the sandwiches one on top of the other, and then using a sharp serrated knife, I just cut it up like this. And this is an ideal weekend, either dinner idea or a snack idea. But it's so delicious, guys. You have to try out this tandoori sandwich recipe. So friends, let's see today's lovely, delicious tomato koshumber recipe. And I'm also going to show you how I make my roasted peanut powder at home. So let's start with the tomato koshumber. Now here I've taken 2 large tomatoes and I've chopped them really fine. I'm going to add this to a mixing bowl. I'm going to add 1 medium-sized onion chopped fine. Now mix the two really well together. Now I'm going to add about half a cup of roasted peanut powder. You can add as per your taste. And this peanut powder also is very easy to prepare. Next, I'm going to add some salt to taste. And I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of sugar. You can add the sugar and salt as per taste. Now mix everything really, really well together. Now I'm going to give a small tadka or a fodni. So I've taken half a tablespoon of oil, heated it up in a small pan or a cuddler, and I'm going to add half a teaspoon each of mustard seeds, cumin seeds, asafoetida, and turmeric powder. Now I'm also going to add 1 green chili that I've cut really fine, and we're going to fry this green chili really well. We're going to add this tadka or fodni to the koshumber and mix everything really well together. This tadka really elevates the flavor of this koshumber. And just garnish it with some kothimber or some cilantro or coriander leaves. And I like to keep this in the refrigerator, and it tastes really nice when it's served chilled. And this is a great accompaniment to, amti bhat or some pori bhaji. It's like a nice refreshing salad. It can be had all by itself too. And now moving on to how I make this roasted peanut powder. So I've taken about 2 cups of raw peanuts in a large pan, and we're going to roast this on a low to medium flame, stirring continuously. This took me about 5 whole minutes till the peanuts were nice and roasted. And you'll hear this popping sound as they get ready. And also the color of the peel will change to a darker brown color with black spots on it, so you know that it's ready. Now you can turn off your flame and let the peanuts cool down, in the pan itself. Not completely cool down, they should be a little bit warm. And then you transfer them to a large plate. Or I have this, lovely I think it's called soup in Marathi. I don't know what the English word for it is. Maybe you all can write in it in the comment section below. And that way, I can easily just peel off the peanuts. Now, while they are warm, it's easier for the peel to come off. And you can also use a nice dry kitchen napkin like this to make the work easier. Now, try to get off as much of the peel as you can. Now, generally, once I peel them, I sit on my kitchen floor and I do this. But right now, for the camera, I'm putting it on my platform. So just, kind of shake off the peanuts like this and then just blow away the peel. It's very easy to do that. You just have to, kind of lift or rather, just it's difficult to explain in words, but just kind of get the peel uh, of the peanuts and just blow away the peel so that all you're left with is this lovely peeled peanuts to make the peanut powder with. And these peanuts, you can, if you don't want to use them in a peanut powder, you can just keep them as a snack, as roasted peanuts. They taste delicious and they're pretty healthy too. So you can do this on your kitchen window, or you can just sit on the floor. That's what I generally do, and then sweep off all the, peel. But try to get off all of the peel, or as much as the peel that you can. And I like to make about 2 cups, 1.5 cup of this peanut powder and keep it handy. You can use this for kanda batata rasa. You can use it for sabudana khichdi, sabudana vadas. You can use it to make tir gur. So it has a lot of uses in the kitchen. And I'll link all the recipes that I've used my peanut powder in the description box below. And now once we finished with getting off all the peel, generally I sweep it off the floor, but right now I'm just taking it all off my kitchen platform. And then we're just going to blitz it. You don't want to grind it, you want to blitz it. So you just blitz, stop. And you want a little bit of the peanuts also to be there. You don't want a completely smooth powder. So a little bit of the peanuts, pieces of peanuts, and you're all set to go. And your peanut powder is all ready. So do try out these two recipes and let me know how you liked it in the comment section below. Thanks for the lovely parfait recipe. It's super simple and really easy. So here I've taken 2 wide glasses. To that I'm going to add some yogurt. Now you can use store-bought yogurt, but I'm using the homemade yogurt. So we're going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons. You can add as much or as little as you like. So see that your yogurt is nice and fresh and it's nice and it's chilled from the refrigerator. Now this is my homemade granola bar. I'll leave a link to the recipe of how I make my homemade granola bar. I've just crushed up the bar a bit, made it into a kind of a crumble, and I'm going to add that too. So again, you can add as much or as little as you like, so there's no particular quantity. Next, I'm going to add some sliced up bananas. Now you can add whatever fresh fruit you have at home. You can go with apples, pears, raspberries, strawberries. I happen to have bananas at home, so I'm using bananas. Now I'm going to add some cranberries. Again, you can add whatever dry fruits you have. You can add some fresh berries. And now I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to again add some yogurt. Now I've just beaten the yogurt very lightly, not too much. You can use your favorite yogurt. You can use flavored yogurt. And now again, I'm going to add some banana, again some crushed up granola, and some cranberry. So you can be really creative with this parfait. Again, I'm adding some cranberries, and again top it up with some yogurt. And the same process, we're going to repeat it again. And I like to keep this in my refrigerator, not in the freezer, but in the refrigerator. And whenever I feel like having some dessert, instead of going for ice cream or something which is rich in sugar, I like to have this. It's really refreshing and it really feels good. So you can make a big glass, you can make a small glass, you can go with whatever you like. So this is a super recipe and it is so very healthy too. And don't forget to check out my granola bar recipe. It is really easy to make. I will leave a link below of how I make my granola bar. So I hope you do try out this recipe. Do leave your comments in the comment section below and I'll catch you soon in my next recipe. So let's start by making the chicken fingers first, which is super simple. So here in a large bowl, I've taken 200 grams of chicken and I've cut them up into long strips. So this is boneless chicken breast. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of corn flour. Next goes in some salt to taste. Next will be 1.5 teaspoon of pepper powder. 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chili powder, or you can also use paprika. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And now just mix everything really well. Ensure that all the pieces of the chicken, all the strips are nicely coated with all of the ingredients that we've just added. You can do this with a spoon or you can even get your fingers in there and do that. And mix it up really well. Let's see that it's all coated with all of the ingredients. And now we're just going to refrigerate this for minimum 30 minutes. Otherwise, you can keep it in your refrigerator and whenever you're ready to make the chicken fingers, you can just take them out. And now I'm just going to heat some oil in my pan for deep frying these chicken fingers. And once they're ready, you're just going to put them in the hot oil. Keep your flame between low and medium. And let them really fry well and crisp up really nicely. And once they're done on one side, you can just turn them onto the other side and fry the other side well too. So we want them to be really nice and crispy and crunchy. And once they're nicely fried, you're just going to take them out and put them on a steel sieve like this with a plate below. Don't put them on any kitchen napkin, that way they won't remain crunchy and crisp. So put them onto a sieve, or if you have any pizza kind of a tray which has a kind of a colander style to it, you can put it on that. And you're going to serve this nice and hot with some chilled tartar sauce. And this tartar sauce also is super simple to prepare. So here I've taken a bowl to which I've added half a cup of mayonnaise. Now you can use pure veg mayonnaise or you can use the classic mayonnaise which has egg in it. Next I've taken 1 onion which I've chopped extremely fine. It has to be really fine. So mince it up really fine. 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes. 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now you can always adjust it as per your taste. Some salt to taste. And 1 tablespoon of finely chopped jalapenos along with the rind. 1 teaspoon of English mustard. And now all you have to do is just mix all of these ingredients really well together. Do give it a taste, and you can adjust it according to your taste. Refrigerate this and serve this chilled. So you can even serve this with some fish fingers, or even use it as a dip with chips or french fries. So I hope you like today's recipes, and I hope you do give them a try. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. This is Akshata signing off. Bye.